So the topic, go back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're doing a bracket to find out what is the best Martin Scorsese film of all time. He's going to tell you the rules, and then we get into it.
Two movies pop up. We decide which one's better. If we agree, that one moves on. If we disagree, we play rock, paper, scissors. However, if only one of us has actually seen both of the movies and the other person has only seen one of them or none of them, then the other person gets to decide. That's how we do it on this, right?
That is.
Okay.
I didn't realize...
Or if one person's only seen one of them, can they pick that movie? No, we're just doing what I said the first time.
See, rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs.
I didn't realize Martin Scorsese made so many damn movies.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these I haven't seen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever seen The Age of Innocence?
I haven't seen either of these films.
Oh, you've never seen... Okay. Well, I've seen The Aviator. The Aviator is like... I think it died down, but there was a point in time where people talked about The Aviator like it was one of the best movies that's ever made. Maybe I just need to rewatch it, but like I thought that movie was real boring. And maybe it was just like the headspace I was in when I watched it. And like... I watch a lot of movies that a lot of people think are boring, and I'm like, this is absolutely incredible. This is the peak of cinema. This is literally visual art. The Aviator, to me, was not it. But it's the only one that either of us have seen, so...
We have a YouTube movie channel.
The Gangs of New York versus The Last Temptation of Christ.
I've seen Gangs of New York. I haven't seen The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah, I've seen clips from it, but... I've also seen Gangs of New York, so guess what? Sorry, Jesus Defoe.
Jesus.
I've
seen both of these, actually.
The King of Comedy versus Shutter Island.
Not a huge fan of either of these.
Yeah.
But I like King of Comedy a little bit more, so...
Well, I've never seen The King of Comedy, so sure. I will say this about Shutter Island. I think it's way better than people give it credit for.
I think people give it too much credit.
Really?
When I was like into the Watch Mojo stuff,
yeah,
it popped up so freaking much. In my
see,
mind, people love it.
So I feel like film people hate on Shutter Island. And like I get it. When you watch a Scorsese movie, you have an expectation. And that expectation is honestly excellence. And so like, is Shutter Island his best movie ever? No. But like, it's still a good movie. It's a good psychological thriller. I enjoy it. Hugo versus Kundun.
I haven't seen either of these.
I saw Hugo once a really long time ago.
I own Hugo on Blu-ray.
Man, we're really crushing this Martin Scorsese bracket. Goodfellas, worst movie ever made. Psych versus The Aviator.
I like went through it real quick. I was like, damn, I should have made this Martin Scorsese one.
Yeah,
to make us look a little bit smarter.
Well, you know what the best part about this specific matchup is that Goodfellas' fate is literally in my hands because he's never seen The Aviator. But I also would never pick The Aviator over Goodfellas. So
yeah,
Casino, which I still have not seen and have the steelbook
another buy
versus Gangs of New York.
I guess our person did a lot of buys in his bracket.
Yeah.
Casino for me. Martin Scorsese's at his best when he's working with De Niro and Pesci and crime-related activities.
Yeah.
So, Gangs of New York, very good. A little too long, though.
It is way too long. It has, like... The first time I watched it, there were, like, 3 separate points in that movie where I was like, endings. It's over.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it, and it's halfway over. Yeah. I'm just like, dang.
A couple of those are good.
Yeah.
But too many.
The Wolf of Wall Street versus The King of Comedy.
Wolf of Wall Street, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the more iconic one.
It's like overplayed, like publicly a little. Like I think
that's a frat boy.
Like if I see one more Instagram reel that's a scene from Wolf of Wall Street, I might lose my mind. But the movie is a really good movie. Yeah. Hugo versus The Departed. Yeah, it's The Departed.
Yeah.
That's an excellent movie.
Once we get around to, I was like, oh, this is going to get better. But that round one on each side is going to be rough.
Yeah. Goodfellas versus Casino.
Goodfellas.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know what you would pick there. Wolf of Wall Street versus The Departed.
I'm going Wolf of Wall Street because it's, even though it is like debauchery and like crime and stuff, it's still outside of Scorsese's element.
It's like white collar crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that more. And I think The Departed, since it's not his best mob film, I'm going Wolf of Wall Street.
See, so like I know he makes a lot of mob films, but I feel like The Departed is, to me, it still feels out of his wheelhouse.
Well, you'd have that cat and mouse element.
Switching to the Irish mob, there's a cat and mouse element. It's just as much a police story as it is a mob story. They're like dirtier and crunchier and like they feel sleazier than the Italian mobsters because they're not as refined. Yeah.
So you say crunchier?
Yeah, like it's crunchy. It's like
I've never heard that used as a.
So I think these are both great. Either way, I'm probably going to be playing rock paper scissors next round. So I'm going to pick The Departed just to.
Cool.
Go ahead and. Oh, wait. I was about to say you're taking Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
Goodfellas versus The Departed. Let me think for a second, because I don't want to. I'm not going to just rain on your parade for the sake of raining on your parade. So here's my thing. I think the last third of Goodfellas gets like really like drony and redundant and boring. Like once he hits that like paranoid level, I'm just like not that interested in this movie anymore. I think the ending is good, but I think like the third act as a whole is not that great. Whereas the third act of The Departed is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, with CGI rats and everything.
But the middle act of The Departed is not as good. What's on the other side?
Movies.
I really just like The Departed more.
I know you do. I still remember this. Every time I see The Departed, that big argument. I don't know if it's on film or not. We were definitely filming that day. That big argument we had about Italian movies versus Irish movies based on these two.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what the list was or whatever, but rock, paper.
Wait, was it Boston versus New York? I can't remember.
It was Italian and Irish.
Yeah.
Because you're Irish and I'm half Italian.
That's true. I am Irish.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Bastard. I don't even want to play anymore. Gross.
Cape Fear versus Silence.
Silence.
Yeah, I've never seen Silence, so sure.
Yeah, bye.
I have seen the original Cape Fear, and I have seen the remake of Cape... Oh.
I just really hate that movie.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese's Cape Fear. The thing is I don't think that it's a bad movie.
People overhype it.
Original Cape Fear is so much better than the remake. Like, so much better. Leaps
and bounds.
De Niro's accent in this movie is atrocious.
It's not good.
It's so bad. And people tout that performance. It's like, I don't get it.
Oh, he has tattoos. And I feel like Silence, we kind of had to make up for dissing Jesus earlier with The Last Temptation of Christ and moving on, so...
Yeah, why not? We'll pick a movie neither of us have ever seen. The Color of Money versus Boxcar Bertha.
Never even heard of Boxcar Bertha.
Me neither.
That sounds like a pornography film. I'm definitely going to check it out now. Hopefully there's a titty in it.
Yeah.
But Color of Money is my choice, even though I don't really like that movie.
Yeah, I have thoughts about Color of Money, but maybe I'll save them for later.
The most unnecessary... I ain't going to say the most unnecessary sequel of all time, but it's definitely a waste.
The Irishman versus New York, New York.
Irishman's the only one I've ever seen.
Is that Adam Sandler? Just kidding.
It looks like De Niro.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably is.
That is De Niro, right?
I don't know, man. Who cares? I love The Irishman. One of my favorite, like, slow burn movies of all time. Bringing Out the Dead versus Who's That Knocking at My Door?
Is that young Harvey Keitel?
Where? Might be.
Looks like it. I haven't seen either of these movies.
Yeah, me neither. Is that Nick Cage?
That is. Long legs himself.
Well, then this is probably better. but I don't know. Do you have a preference?
I don't care.
I like Harvey. If that's even Harvey. After Hours versus Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore is a film I have heard of.
Yeah.
It's one of those like hidden 70s films people just forgot about, but like film lovers will like bring it up time to time.
Mm-hmm.
After Hours is the only one I have seen though. It's very much so good time. Martin Scorsese, like interpretation wise, like closest thing I could bring it to is Good Time as a film.
Yeah.
So After Hours is my choice of someone I've seen before, and I also really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen either of them, so bada bing, bada boom.
What do you see? What do you hear?
Taxi Driver versus Silence.
Taxi Driver. Classic.
The Irishman versus The Color of Money.
Irishman.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your thoughts on Color of Money?
Bro, that was the, like...
It was boring as fuck.
Like, and when I saw the names that were in this movie... So I was watching it because I was like, I'm just going to watch... There's a ton of Tom Cruise movies I haven't seen. I'm going to watch, like... I'm just going to pick Tom Cruise movies I haven't seen. Color of Money. Directed by Martin Scorsese. Thank you. I always forget people's names as soon as we're on video.
And you don't love Paul Newman like I do.
Yeah, but I respect Paul Newman. I'm more of a Burt Reynolds guy. But like...
I swear, Martin Scorsese was like two of the most charismatic actors in the world at that time. He was like, don't be charming.
Tone it down.
Don't be charming.
Yeah, and it's like, I have... Like, so it's a Scorsese movie. Scorsese doesn't make movies without something to say. Like, that's kind of like, he talks about it. Like, if he doesn't feel like he's making a point or really telling a story, he doesn't make the movie. And I cannot find that in this movie. Like, I don't understand this movie.
The Hustler is so fucking good, too.
Yeah, this movie is boring. It's uninteresting. The ending is not interesting. It's like, I want you to be a hustler. Well, I just really like playing pool. Let's team up anyways. Well, now I just want to go back to playing pool. Well, I don't want anything to do with you.
I need money.
Okay, well, now we're going to do this. And it's just like, yeah, I love The Irishman. Raging Bull versus Who Da Knocking at My Door?
Well, Jake LaMotta is knocking people out, so...
Yeah.
Raging Bull is my choice. It's the one I've
also
seen.
the only one either of us have seen. Mean Streets versus After Hours.
Mean Streets one that I need to see. I own it, but I haven't yet to see it yet.
Well, then After Hours it is.
Top 5 worst haircuts of all time.
That's a really, really bad haircut. Yeah.
Not good.
Taxi Driver versus The Irishman.
So, back to what you were saying when it comes to why Scorsese makes films.
Yeah.
And why those films are prevalent and meaningful to not only, like, culture, but to, like, audience members and whatnot. Hearing how he got from a cocaine addiction, Paul Schrader, into writing this, to Martin Scorsese's outlook on that and his spin on it is so interesting to me. I'm gonna pick Taxi Driver. Irishman is so long, and I've only seen it once, where Taxi Driver I've seen probably 3 times, I would say.
Yeah.
I can't get over the really bad CGI faces and.
I don't even notice it when I watch it. I don't think they're that bad. You know how many times I've watched The Irishman?
Probably 3.
All the way through?
Probably 3 or 4.
7. And to be fair, it's like one of my like on in the background movies when I'm at work. So it's like I'm not paying attention to all of it, but I have watched The Irishman a bunch. I love The Irishman. I love
That's crazy
how long it is. And again, that might just have something to do with the fact that I work 12-hour shifts, so having something that's almost 4 hours long to like kind of help fill in some of the gaps and be on in the background is really helpful. But yeah, it's another mobster movie from Scorsese, but to me it's a completely different take. And as far as him having characters with something to say and stories with something to say, my love for The Irishman is almost summed up in another argument that we had about this movie, because you were talking about how you felt like he felt remorseful towards the end, and I don't think that he is truly remorseful at all towards the end. Like, he Like, I think he literally is just, like, trying to repair his relationship with his daughter. He regrets nothing. And part of that's ego, and part of it's just a really bad morality system. So I think The Irishman has a ton to say. It's also a really great take on, like, a classic conspiracy theory of, like, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. Because the story got written because there are people who are part of the mob who claim that this is how it actually happened, even though De Niro's character is kind of made up. So that's really interesting to me. Taxi Driver, I've just never really enjoyed that much. It has its quotes. I really like it. It's also just like... and to be fair, this doesn't affect how I care about the movie. It is soured to me by the people that, like, champion this dude as a hero when I just don't think he is. And I understand that you are not part of that crowd. But it's a good movie. But I'm picking The Irishman.
Alrighty. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Fire!
You need to pick up a new game.
Raging Bull versus After Hours.
I mean, Raging Bull is...
Yes, let's get rid of those movies I haven't seen.
too iconic.
Raging Bull versus The Irishman.
So, by your statement of Nero's character in The Irishman, is that comes off, I don't remember it as well as you do, Mr. I've seen the movie 7 times. It seems very similar to Jake LaMotta.
Kinda, yeah.
I just love sports films.
Sure.
And this is such a different take. And the cinematography is so damn beautiful.
Yeah.
That I'm leaning towards Raging Bull, not to rain on your parade.
Yeah, I definitely feel much more divided about this one. I'm telling myself not to say it because it doesn't need to be said and it doesn't have anything to do with this video.
What?
Just about something about boxing movies in general.
Oh, fuck you.
But yes, Raging Bull is a very good movie. I mean, I think top to bottom, like, I like these movies about the same. I think Raging Bull is, like, a little tighter as a film as a whole, so I'm going to go Raging Bull. It's definitely a better boxing movie than some other boxing movies. I didn't say it. You're just assuming that I'm talking about Rocky because I am. Wow. I would not have thought.
No, not in a million years. This is not the list I would have picked and chose. This is the most...
oh, man. In hindsight, I really probably should have taken Goodfellas, but it's fun. So The Departed versus Raging Bull for our final best Martin Scorsese. And to be fair, these definitely aren't the worst two movies that could have ended at the final.
No.
But it's what we got. So I really wish that, like, Wolf of Wall Street had been on the other side or something. Yeah. But I'm taking The Departed. I think it's an excellent movie. I like it more. It spawned the title for The Other Guys.
How?
So there's the scene where they're, like, trying to do the stakeout. And they get tipped off, which is why, like, they're out of camera shot. But Mark Wahlberg gets upset because there's not a camera facing them. And he said, "Who set these cameras up?" And then one of the other guy, like, one of the dudes who set the cameras up, was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he says, "I'm the guy that does his fucking job. You must be the other guy." And then Mark Wahlberg is in a movie called The Other Guys about two bad cops.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm really divided on this one too. Departed is good. Raging Bull, very good, classic.
Scorsese just does crime so good.
Yeah.
Like,
which is why I'm leaning towards The Departed, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think...
Has he done another sports movie?
Color of Money will be technical.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, so Billiards is on ESPN.
He should have did I, Tanya. That would have been really good. Great.
Yeah,
that script they have.
Good.
Because there's really good fellas on ice.
I mean, I could have seen him doing like a... Like, I definitely think if he had done Any Given Sunday, it would have made it a better movie.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
already really like Given a Given. And I feel like that fits in something he could have done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Pacino.
just because of Pacino, but...
Yeah, I'm going Departed. Jack Nicholson, that's probably his last excellent performance. And I feel like as an actor, he's the Joker in Shining now, when he's so much more than that. So
True.
my old pal Jack.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the TV show. I feel like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest gets a little more love these days than it used to. But you are right. For the most part, he is, to most people, the Joker or
Jack Torrance.
Jack Torrance.
But in a series of events that I didn't see coming, you could say there are unfortunate events, depending on who you are. But The Departed is Martin Scorsese's best film according to the Cinematopical bracket that I didn't make. Should have made it. We would have looked a lot smarter.
Man.
But let us know your favorite Scorsese film in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.